So good morning, everybody. Thank you for your kind introduction, Martinas. I will actually not try to scratch the surface. It's a very difficult topic, and it's difficult to say enough in 20 or so minutes. So I'll scratch the surface, delving into three main, topics. So the recent projects that have been funded by the European Union structural funds, also the current eHealth architecture, and the possible future developments that are going on at the moment. I will hopefully not be too technical, but I will still have to get into some details. So first of all, we have to define what is eHealth. And eHealth, to us, often is associated with what we have in hospitals, that is, our hospital information systems. But maybe sometimes with a patient portal. But it's actually quite a vast definition. And looking at the WHO's definition, eHealth is the use of ICT for health. But it also encompasses e-learning, e-commerce, that is billing, reimbursement, telehealth, mobile health, electronic health records, decision support, remote monitoring, and many, many different concepts. So actually, whenever you're doing with ICT in healthcare system, you're actually doing with eHealth. So looking at the Lithuanian eHealth timeline, we have to distinguish a few timelines. So first of all, the first project called Nacionalinė elektroninė sveikatos sistema. It was initiated in 2005, lasted for about 2 years. But unfortunately, there were no legislative basis in order to ensure the continuation of the project. So actually, a new project had to be started, and NEST 2 was initiated in 2007. And here, hospital information systems for Kaunas clinics, for Santaros clinics, and Klaipėdos University Hospital have been developed. In addition, another attempt was to build a central national health system. But actually, well, it has failed. So, in the next coming years, legislative basis for eHealth was prepared. And from 2009 up to 2015, there was a special system development program with the funds coming from the European Union. And these projects I will try to delve into a bit in detail. And the good thing is that from 2017 to 2025, we have the last injection from the EU structural funds. The crucial time is now. The action plan is being developed now, the development program is being developed now, so this is the last, chunk of money that will come from the European Union. So we're trying to be involved and to get this system as suitable as possible for healthcare professionals. So looking at the money that has been spent, the projects from 2009 to 2015 have had like 27 million euros. Another chunk of money we don't really know how much it will be, but it will depend on how we use the previous how well we use the previous projects. So there were 13 regional projects and 16 national projects, otherwise you can say that there were 3 core projects, 6 minor projects, and the biggest chunk of money was in order to develop hospital information systems throughout Lithuania. So these 3 core projects have been administered by the Registry Center, which is one of the biggest IT institutions in Lithuania. Looking at these projects, the main thing was to establish a central national information system, which in our case is called ESPBI, or sveikatos paslaugų ir bendradarbiavimo infrastructura. So I guess you've heard this name quite a lot, especially if you're working in a healthcare setting at the moment, because everything has to be synchronized with it. And I'll delve a bit into the detail what's its role now. Also, a sub-project was e-prescriptions, so it had to be a subsystem allowing to prescribe medications electronically. And in addition, MedVice, a national system for storing and sharing medical images between hospitals, had also to be developed under this central information system. So to see where it stands, actually we have to look at a bit at the nitty-gritty details about the eHealth architecture itself. So eSPBI has like the central role in it. It's a data storage repository, it's e-prescriptions and exchange of images. But also, crucially, it is also an eHealth portal, both for patients. So some countries consider that patient portal is one of the most, the crucial part of eHealth. And also for physicians, for those who don't have local information systems. Another role is statistics, so that you could analyze the data that has been gathered. Moreover, this system had to do all the data exchange between it and various registries and hospital information systems, national, regional, and local. Registers within the health sector, which include the drug register, sveikatą, e-booking, and clinical decision-making and others, but also outside of it, what we deal with in hospitals. So this is NDNT, SODRA, foreign register, population registers, and other. And actually, eSPBI was was developed as a data exchange environment. However, we already have a data exchange environment in Lithuania, which is called VIS or SIR. Actually, it would translate it as a State Information Resource Interoperability Platform. So, another role of SIR is identification, e-government portal. So, in order to log into eSPBI, you have to use a validated ID that is approved by the government, which means you have either to use your own ID, a mobile signature, or something else that's validated throughout the country. So these are, I guess, this was the role of Registry Center. It had to ensure that the central system is working properly. Now, the 6 minor projects that you might be familiar with, maybe not know that it's part of eHealth, one project was by State Medicines Control Agency. They aimed to do the electronic solutions for licensing and for pharmacists and for pharmacotechnicians. And actually, all the information regarding drugs is also available in this site, so probably you've already used it at some point. Another project was Sno-Med Ct. So Sno-Med Ct is kind of a classification, it's a systemized nomenclature of medicine clinical terms, and it's the most comprehensive system of clinical terminology and covers most of the, all of the medical specialties. So it's advised by the international institutions to have this system and to use it, because when you classify I guess services, it's easier to know, to do the data analytics and to see if you're cost efficient and etc. So it was translated to Lithuanian to be used here. Now another project, e-booking, so that is the išankstinė pacientų registracija, or Sargu LT, that you might be familiar. Actually, almost 130 healthcare providers are participating there at the moment, and you can access 7.5 thousand doctors and about 1,000 GPs. So it's, I guess patients know it quite well because they register or book appointments for doctors through the system in most of the hospitals. Fourth project was licensing, so it was by the State Healthcare Accreditation Agency. It aimed to create a licensing system, and hopefully those who have graduated recently did not have to wait in lines in this State Accreditation Agency, and you've received your licenses electronically. The last project, or at least the 2 last projects that, I don't know, in my opinion, they're not as successful as the others, were the telecardiology for Western Lithuania, and those working with cardiology in Kaunas clinics maybe deal with it, but anyway, it was aimed to be able to send ECGs and echocardiographies to Kaunas clinics in order to have telecardiology consultations, and also to decide if a patient needs to be transferred to a tertiary hospital. And another one, clinical decision-making in Santaros Klinikos, that aimed to help with everyday decision making, trying to describe the ECGs, EEGs, and various bone abnormalities, and do 3D reconstructions of imaging. So these are the main projects that have been funded. However, the biggest chunk of money has been dedicated for the development of hospital information systems. So the thing that you are most probably familiar with. So actually 5 different companies, IT companies, have participated. They did, I guess, more than 15 projects altogether. And I guess hospital information systems was the catalyzer that catalyzed us to get involved, because we work with those every day, and we know that actually there are substantial differences between institutions, between healthcare providers. So in this map, I tried to show you how the Lithuanian map looks like. So even if you would zoom into Kaunas, not zoom out, you can see all these different colors. So basically, different hospitals are using different information systems. So even in a city, in the same city, for example, in Kaunas, you might have Kauno Šilainių Poliklinika who's using a system called Polis, Kaunas clinics who are using Nortel, and then some hospitals are using Medis, others are coordinated by hospitals from Jonava or Šiauliai. So it's quite, I mean, there's a big variety of health information systems, which in some cases not good, not bad. I mean, the competition is good, but the state control agency just recently has decided that the processes were not coordinated well. I mean, these projects have been developed in parallel, and maybe some centralized solution could have been sought for. So we got involved in the beginning, I guess more than a year and a half ago, and we tried to convey the message that not all of the systems are working well, that doctors should not be blamed for not prescribing e-prescriptions, because some systems are really substantially, instead of decreasing the time you spend with your, I guess, documentation, it increases it substantially. So, yeah, just let's say it's hospital information system X and Y, you can see there's a substantial difference. Some institutions, well, we did this online survey. Some of you might have participated. So some institutions regard their healthcare system, information systems quite well. Others, well, it's 3 out of 10. So it's really unsatisfactory. So we know from our Estonian colleagues, and we've talked with them quite a few times, and they were actually telling a different story, that for the last 5 years they haven't prescribed a paper prescription, that they could see data from all the hospitals within the country, also that they could see the images made anywhere in Estonia. So we decided to go there, and I'll show you a short video about our trip to Estonia.
Mes važiuojame mieste, kad sužinotume, kokia yra iš esmės viena pažangiausių, kaip atrodo viena pažangiausių Europoje e-sveikata ir kokią viziją galėtų turėti Lietuva įgyvendinant savo e-sveikatos projektus.
Aš turiu iš darželio savo okulistinę kortelę, kur į popierius yra surašyta mano ligos istorija, ir dabar po 27 metų aš tokias pačias korteles pati turiu rašyti poliklinikoje. Ir aš niekaip nesupratau, kaip čia yra, kodėl čia niekas nesikeičia. Kodėl žurnalai mokyklose popieriniai išnyko, kodėl išnyko popierinės pažymių knygelės, o ligoniniai tokioje svarbioje vietoje mes vis dar turim daugybę popierinių dokumentų ir jie nesikalba tarpusavyje. Ir tada išgirdau gandą, kad Estijoje viskas yra kitaip. Ir Rytis, kolega iš EDGA, sako, Estija nėra kažkuo skirtinga šalis nuo Lietuvos, turim nuvažiuoti pažiūrėti, ką jie padarė.
We have spent 12 million euros, and in prescription area we do have almost 100% coverage in digital prescriptions.
The CTO of US, Megan Smith, I had the pleasure of meeting her a few years ago, and she said that she identified the key problem of the United States of America in terms of the field of technology was the bureaucrats were in charge of technology. And she intended to sort of eliminate that immediately, either by replacing them with technology people or having a technology person next to the bureaucrat. So that's one of the key principles probably. You don't want to have, like, no bureaucrat in the right mind should be discussing what is the exact technical standards.
Kodėl važiavom į Estiją? Labai ilga istorija, bet trumpai pasakius, tai neapsikentėm su dabartinė situacija. Susipažinę su jaunaisiais gydytojais iš Estijos, pamatėme ir sužinome, jog tenais tokie dalykai kaip popierinio recepto išrašymas net neegzistuoja. Mus labai sužavėjo ir suintrigavo tas faktas ir norėjom pažiūrėti, ar iš tikrųjų čia yra taip gerai ir kokia yra paslaptis viso to.
But anyway, in Estonia we have visited many institutions, also talked with the eHealth architect Artur Novik, who will present you the Estonian architecture, also with Professor Ross. Went to hospitals, went to healthcare providers, to information, hospital IT staff, also to systems that provide hospital information systems. We saw GPs and how the health information systems work in practice. So we got quite inspired by it, and hopefully some of the inspiration will be shared with the next presenters. So not only did we go to Estonia, later we flew to Karolinska Institute, and we talked with Nina Selberg, who was involved with creation of eHealth in Sweden, one of the main project coordinators. Then we also went to Denmark and talked with the head of the patient portal, which is regarded as one of the best patient portals in Europe. Also, we went to the World Health Organization headquarters in Copenhagen to talk with a representative for eHealth in WHO to ask for some advice. And actually the proposals where we have been standing for since our visit in Estonia have been, first of all, we saw that there's not only a problem with eHealth, or not that much with eHealth, as with the whole IT coordination, the coordination of IT infrastructure in Lithuania. So we definitely endorse a creation of a position of a Lithuanian CIO, and to some extent maybe some aggregation of IT resources. We also are for health data exchange through a national exchange environment that I showed you. And just to come back a bit, so now ESPBI is the data exchange, but I think nationally it would make a lot of sense to use VISP or SIRIP a lot more. So we were actually promoting that as well. So you'll hear about Estonia Next Road and why it's so inspiring and how it saves money for them. Also, the third long-term solution was establishing an eHealth architect position within eHealth Competence Center in Lithuania. So now nobody really knew who was the architect and the designer of the system, and actually it was difficult to see who has to take responsibility for architecture. So we definitely need someone with good IT knowledge that could coordinate IT projects throughout Lithuania. And these were the long-term goals. As for short-term goals, we wanted to improve the signing of documents in the hospitals so that the responsibility of the signing procedure goes directly to the hospital by creation of a digital hospital stamp. Also facilitating data exchange between hospitals, at least in the near time, so that the hospitals could prepare for better data exchange in a short time. And also allowing hospitals to take up best hospital information system practices in case of previous failures. So basically, if there's a good and well-regarded hospital information system, maybe it should be used in those hospitals who show a poor outcome. So actually, although the plan is from 2017, the development program was signed this July. And of course, the information systems are getting a good performance, so we are in a very crucial period. According to the I guess requirements, at least 30% of e-prescriptions and other data exchange and the usage of the products that have been developed should be in place. So actually, the latest data for e-prescriptions, at least in September, looked promising, and we've just reached 30%, and hopefully if the ESPBI has not much technical problems, we'll go to this exponential curve soon, or the S-curve. So the main, I guess a few main things to know about the development program up to 2025 is that the eHealth architect within the established, newly established department and insurance should be, in the national insurance organization should start working. Also, this is a very, very crucial part because in our opinion, we need a good IT specialist, and we will hear from Artur Novak what kind of, I guess, qualities this job requires. Also, an eHealth competence center should be established under the Ministry of Health. Also, the review of Lithuanian eHealth architecture should be in place, the approval of eHealth financing model, the changes in eHealth concerning legislation, and moving ESPBI from registry center to VLK, so that it would be easier to coordinate. But we'll discuss that question as well. Evaluating levels of IT development of different healthcare institutions, and also the further development of hospital information systems. So ultimately, the goal is to become paperless, so that we could make our everyday practice easier. Hopefully, this will be achieved up to 2025. And just to show you that the three main, I guess, managing positions have to be the eHealth board, and actually Lithuanian junior doctors were invited to participate in there, and I'm trying to represent our opinion within the eHealth board, and it's dealing with policy making. Competence center under the Ministry of Health with a CEO who would be the project manager, and an eHealth architect under VLK in the IT department who would take responsibility for technical issues. So clearly, we're living in interesting times, in crucial times, and actually there are changes from a doctor-oriented system to a patient-oriented one. And I just presented some of the technical details and how we view it, what kind of system we want. Hopefully we'll hear a lot from Šarūnas Narbutas, who's a representative from patient organizations, what's their take on eHealth. So we try to do our best to show, to be a representative of doctor's opinion. We also asked the WHO to review the action plan that will be signed soon. So a lot of everything is promising, and I guess the future of medicine is in your hands as well. So whoever wants to participate and has ideas on what kind of eHealth you want to see, you can always approach me, and we have a group of people that are interested in this topic and discussing it, and you would be very welcome with your ideas there. So thank you very much, and Martinas.